Hey everyone, how are we all doing today? Uh, it's a raining, wet day. Of course, we are in the season anyway. So, um, I just want to do a quick video talking about out of a question. Actually, somebody asked the question that how do you identify the principles from a successful activity? Okay, so that's basically the question, and I tried to answer the question, but I feel that there's a need for me to do a full-fledged video. So my name still remains Okwe Oluwa Oni. So all you just need to do is to like, share, and also subscribe. And if there be need, also follow. Okay. So for you to extract clues and principles from a successful achievement or a journey, this I mean, for any journey or for any achievement, especially for something that you are just getting to do for the very first time, there are things you probably have done right, you stumbled on, you were advised to do, or you guessed, or intuition. And most of the time, we don't even pay premium on our intuitive knowledge. Okay, as a people, there's something called intuitive knowledge. We often don't pay premium to it. Okay, and our intuitive knowledge is one of the most powerful gifts that God has given to us. Okay, so these are just few steps and that I have used and researched, that others too have used, and has worked for them. As they are pretty common anyway, but it's just that the fact that they are common, if you don't take note of them, you won't even know that these things are common. Pardon all the pauses and everything in this video, because I'm actually in the car. I'm going for a meeting. I just needed to make sure that we get this video done. So number one is that identify the success. Okay, clearly define what success is. Okay, so because you're on a route, you're on a path, and if you do not design what success actually is, you will not know where you quote and unquote become successful. Okay, so you need to identify what success is, your own definition of success. Take for instance now, let's say I want to overcome a fear. Maybe that's what I want to achieve. Okay, so my definition of success is my ability to do what I am afraid of, my ability to overcome what I was afraid of. That would be the definition of success for me, right? So that is a proper definition of success, and you need to identify it, a statement of success, so that when you get there, you will also know, right? Because sometimes the end result, getting to the end result, there are so many routes you follow. Okay, so it might not really look at it like it's initially, right? So the number two, okay, before we go into number two, you need to also understand what will be you need to define what will be the impact of that success. Okay, after I overcome this fear, I'll be able to do this thing fearlessly. I'll earn more respect. I'll earn more dignity. Those are the impact of being successful in a particular area. So that's also something that really needs to be identified. Then number two is to analyze the journey. Okay, a proper documentation of every step that you went through. Break them down step by step. How were you able to achieve what you achieved? So you need to analyze that journey. Analyze that journey, break them down into key milestones, what you were able to achieve at what point, decisions that you took, the actions, where you were afraid on that journey, where you were doubting that journey, where it looks like it was not going to move forward on that journey. Document everything down. It's going to help a great deal in the course of the meeting. Okay, in you identifying and getting clues and patterns um, from that journey to success. Then number three is that you identify, that you look for patterns. You look for pattern. Remember, define success. Number two is analyze the journey. Then from the analysis you have done, you look for patterns. So what are the patterns that I have noticed? What are the patterns that I have noticed? Look for patterns. So identify recurring actions or behavior. Okay, so maybe on your journey to driving, for instance, or your journey to overcoming a particular fear, one of the ways we're able to overcoming it is facing the fear. At every point in time, when you face doubt, you just do it. When you face doubt, you just do it. Even though you are in doubt, you still go ahead and what? Take action, right? When you face doubt, you just do it. So that can be a behavior, right? That we can recognize. So then the other thing is this: we identify the what recurring actions and patterns. Then notice any consistent strategy or approach. So if a pattern keeps repeating itself, then you know that there must be something about this pattern. If, for instance, now you stumble on every time you see 2 plus 2, you know, there's this thing we learned in school, verbal reasoning and quantitative analysis. It's just your ability to think. That's why it's even use the word verbal reasoning. It's your ability to think. By the time you look at the question, if you can think very well, the answer is actually staring at you. So it's for you to think. So when you look at when you have done an analysis, you'll be able to see patterns. You'll be able to see patterns. For instance, in our own business, we realize that there's a particular activities. Immediately we carry out those set of activities, there's always a jump in sales. There's always a jump in sales. That's okay. Why not we pump more energy in carrying out these activities and test run whether indeed there will be a jump in sales? So that's very, very, very important. Okay. Then understand the context. So not success don't happen in a vacuum. So there's always going to be a context in which this success is carried out and it happens. So consider the environment and circumstances that surround that success. So what frame of mind were you? What was I'm just trying to look for examples of my heart without sharing my own personal story. Okay, let's take for instance now. I'm not a successful driver. No, the context I became a successful driver was maybe somebody that knew how to drive was driving beside me for a whole year. It's a different ball game than me just watching a video or listening to an instruction and nobody was really beside me. So because the confidence I will have when somebody is beside me is that in case I want to even enter a crash, probably the person will rescue me or stuff like that. So the context too needs to really be considered. Okay, the context could be that you have a coach that is always pushing you anytime you want to give up. I mean, most of the time, look at the people that goes to gym. Without your coach, without somebody pumping you up, hyping you, you probably will not be able to achieve some of the things you achieved. Look at, I mean, let me still use gym as example. Music gives you, even though you've not eaten, you've only taken liquid, you go to gym, you pump energy, pump all your muscle up, and within 2-3 hours you are still energetic, you are still going, you are still sweating it out, right? Whereas unlike the other time you were at home, to even do 1,000 skipping rope, you're already tired. Okay, so that context really needs to be paid attention to. Okay, so you in recognizing understanding the context too, you need to pay what are the external factors, which are some of the things I've already explained. So evaluate your resources. So what were the resources that helped you achieve what you achieved? Okay, identify the resources, time, money, skills, people that were used. Okay, because sometimes we don't really pay attention to this, especially for those of us that are Christians, or probably you have friends and all of those things, and you're asking them, how were you able to do this thing? No, they'll just now the grace of God, though. If not for God, God, you'll be wanting in your mind that which one be grace of God? God, tell me what you did. What were the step-by-step action you took? That's what I want to hear. Not that by the grace of God, blah, 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 and all of those things. Okay. So that is very, 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 very important. Okay. So you need to identify all the resources that you had access to and how you were able to utilize all those resources. Okay. So you need to identify them so that when you see the objective of this is success can be repeated, success can be predictable, your miracles can be predictable if you know if you follow all these steps right? And you are going to deduce from all of this. You will know that, okay, if I follow this, this will happen. If I do this, this will happen, because I've tested it over and over and over and over again. Okay. Then number 6 is that you reflect on the challenges. So what were the obstacles you faced, and understand how these challenges were overcome, and the reasons why you enter even some of these challenges in the first place. Some of them were not foreseen, right? You just stumbled on them, and your ability to understand why you entered some of these challenges can go a long way, can really, really, really go a long way. So you need to understand all these challenges and also reflect on all these challenges and document how you enter the challenges and how you came out of the challenges. Like one of my mentors will always say something. He said, you are either coming out of a challenge, entering into one, or you are in the middle of one, and you can be in the three at the same time. Okay, so those are some of the realities of life. Okay, you reflect on all these challenges, and number 7, you extract the principles. So what are the principles? Identifying the underlying principle that guide your actions. So all this, everything we have said, though, now you bring out the principles. The principles, what are your principles? These are the things that guided your actions. When I face challenges, I did this. That's a principle. What made me to enter these challenges? This was what I did, so I must not do it. That's a principle. Okay. For instance, now one of your principles could be that I don't borrow money. I don't borrow people money that I cannot give to them. So those are things you identify, document, and lay them out. Okay. So then you extract this principle, you collate this principle. So after formulating this principle, they become your action plan. Then which will now take you to the last thing. You test them. You know, you can, let's say maybe for the very first time you drove it, you climbed a mountain. Maybe the mountain is 10 feet high. You draw out all the principles. The same thing, you implement it for 15 feet high mountain, which is like double the height of the 10 feet or 8 feet you just climbed before. So that's okay. This does not work here. This work here. You keep editing it, refining it, because you keep using it over and over and over and over again, and all of that. By the time you have climbed maybe your 100th mountain, you are now coming out with a principle how to successfully climb mountain anywhere in the world. So you know that this is a documented stuff. You know, for instance, I have a book I'm working on right now, 12 mistakes to avoid when you are buying a landed property in Nigeria. So those mistakes are clued out of over 30 landed project estates that we've done. So they are clued out of them. Okay. So I hope this has made sense at all. So if you follow all these principle, actionable step, you're able to get all the principles out. You deduce all your principles. You apply, you reapply, you apply, you reapply, you apply, you reapply, and then at the end of the day, we become successful in what we do. We make success predictable. You make success uh, um, uh, much more consistent. Okay, that's the right word to use. Okay, my name still remains Okwe Oluwa. So don't forget to like, share, and also subscribe. Bye.